I believe and I teach that relationships are a spiritual path, and certainly we can use relationships as major vehicles for healing, growth, and evolution. I think people are becoming more and more aware of this, which is incredible. But I actually take it even higher into if this is the spiritual path back towards wholeness, union, and ultimately back towards ascension and return to source. And so that is why I believe that relationships are a spiritual path. And I don't just believe this stuff intellectually, I actually live this work. And so I wanted to share with you an excerpt from Jeffrey Wolf Green. I just started reading his book, Pluto Volume 2, Evolution Through Relationship. So I want to share with you a quote that really affirms the path that I've been teaching, just so you have a different perspective, and it may be even a little bit different wording than what I usually use. Okay, so I'm just reading from the book. He says, "It is because of the law of relationships that we evolve. We evolve through forming relationship to someone that seems to represent something that we desire or need in order to grow." This happens subconsciously. "Something that we sense or perceive that we do not have. By forming such a relationship, a Plutonian osmosis occurs through which we become that which we have formed a relationship to." This is so beautiful. His wording, I just started reading this on the plane. I'm traveling with my son right now, and I'm underlining all of the things because this is essentially what I teach about this path being a path of inner union through the outer union of relationships. And so I've been teaching this path of spiritual relationships for a while, and it wasn't until maybe 3 years ago that I really put the puzzle pieces together that you can achieve inner union through the outer union of relationships. And I actually do not believe that you can achieve inner union without relationships. So let me give you a practical example. My inner union, or my balance of yin and yang, masculine, feminine, is developed through a relationship with my partner. So his masculine influences my inner masculine, and my feminine influences his inner feminine through osmosis, as he says in this book. And so I don't usually call it that, but I do talk about polarity and resonance and the dance between those two things. So the more that you actually spend time with a person, you start to eventually resonate at the same frequency because of what he speaks about in terms of this osmosis that happens. Now, in the communities that are very polarity focused in terms of the sexual spark, they will actually tell you not to spend every waking moment with your partner because of this reason, because you start to actually lose the polarity the more that you are spending every second together, because you start to resonate at the same frequency and become more alike. And so this is actually one of the things that this is why I teach about the dance of union and separation. Polarity and resonance have to remain in balance. And so this is a deep one. I'm not going to be able to fit this into a short video, but I love this quote because this is actually the reason why, number one, we need relationships. Number two, we actually can't do the next level of spiritual evolution, which is returning back to source, unless we actually use relationships. I'm going to do a mini series on this because there's so many beautiful excerpts from this first chapter in his book that affirms all of the work. And I just wanted to share with you like a different perspective, maybe different wording, and I can teach and add my 2 cents to it because this is exactly what's happening. And so ultimately this is a return back to source through relationship. And so we're going to keep going over the next few days with this.